He came with a manifesto in hand to invite the people of Enugu State to a journey of greatness, a journey of growth, and a journey of development. The manifesto showcased promises, possibilities, and prospects, some of them too good to believe. 1 year after, doubts have turned to hope, confidence, and support. Today, there are reasons to celebrate 365 days of a new dawn in Enugu State. Every promise he made came with a timeline, a specific period to realize it, with measurable indicators. The vision is to grow the economy of the state from $4.4 billion to $30 billion in 4 to 8 years and eradicate poverty, bringing the 58% poverty rate index to 0. The vote was massive for PDP. The victory was overriding. The mandate was firmly entrenched. Dr. Peter Ndubuisimba assumed office as the democratically elected governor of Enugu State, May 29, 2023. It was a beacon of hope for the people.
I, Peter Ndubuisimba, do solemnly swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
We now have a new governor in Dr. Peter Ndubuisimba. Thank you.
And so the social contract with the people was signed and sealed. The journey had started for a man of destiny, a man of disruptive innovation from Owo, in Kano East local government area of the state. Even before he hit the ground running as governor, the entrepreneur turned politician repeatedly promised to provide water, clean water to Enugu City in 180 days. The 180 days promise was a litmus test for the new government. The joy was therefore unimaginable as the jinx was broken on 25th November 2023, exactly 180 days after. It was a signature achievement, as Peter Mba had said, "Let there be water," and there was water in the city.
We now have the capacity to deliver enough water to Enugu metropolis. Today in Enugu, our daily consumption volume of water is less than 100 million liters. Indeed, those that are connected to our pipeline network only consume about 70 million liters of water as it stands today. Those that are connected to the pipeline network. But by the time we have all the new layouts connected to the pipeline network, our consumption rate of volume would be 100 million liters of water daily. As it stands today, we can comfortably deliver 120 million liters of water daily non-stop. And this is only but our first phase. This is only but our first phase. What I can say to you today, that we have been able, through our internally generated revenue, as it stands today, to finance everything we have done in the water sector. We're here this afternoon to witness the commissioning of the ultra-modern 9th Mile water scheme. This water scheme is built for the benefit of the people of Enugu State and to the glory of God. So I have the honor and privilege to commission this water scheme here today. Thank you.
Before the administration, the production capacity was barely occasional 2 million liters of water. Today, that volume has moved from 2 million to 120 million liters, way above the 80% daily consumption in Enugu City, with a buffer provision of about 50%, so that at any point where some pumps or machines are down, there would still be water supply in the city. To ensure unbroken supply of electricity to the water scheme, the government of Dr. Peter Mba put in place a gas-powered 4.4 megawatts located at 9th Mile in Enugu State. Lack of electricity from the national grid would not mean lack of electricity to the scheme or lack of water to the city.
We are going to generate 70,000 cubic meters of water within this site, and he has also had approved the extension of the boreholes for more yield. So beyond what is generated, he has also refurbished all the reservoirs that you have in Enugu. There are 2 twin tanks here, is refurbished. The other 2 in Okotongo is refurbished. The one at the new market is also refurbished for the current trend, current standard. So if you go into Enugu town, for instance, not only that we are sure we're going to get quality water, he's also had made provision for water galleries.
It has been a big challenge to access good drinking water. And that's why you see these tanker water suppliers are thriving, and they're holding people on the jugular. They dictate what they do. And look at the outrageous prices now they charge. It's a very welcome development. This is what enhances life, and people feel, yes, we're having a taste of democracy.
I've lived long in Enugu from childhood, so it has been a difficult task from every side. In fact, the other side I lived at Wee Road, it was very hard for us. But now, in fact, things have changed. It's not like yesterday. Yeah. And I heard people the other day was going towards that artisan. Somebody was saying that this man said, that's our governor, he said that they should keep fetching. For now, there is no more money until he finishes what he has in mind. So I said, oh, this is good though. I was surprised because I've not seen any government do something. So I was...
The issue of security was hydra-headed in Enugu State. There was this monstrous sit-at-home order issued by criminals and non-state actors. Few hours after he was sworn in, Dr. Peter Mba said enough was enough. The various promises to the people would not be possible if something drastic and strategic was not done against the foul Monday sit-at-home. It was unacceptable and inexcusable.
They're not going to sit at home on Mondays when these people are in the comfort of their home outside this country doing the things they have to do. They cannot tell us when to work or when to sit at home. Okay? If there is going to be an instruction as to when you need to take a break, that would come from the government. It will not come from unelected persons. Okay, so we thank you very much. We're going to continue to support you, to empower you, to develop you so that we can actually together achieve that Enugu of our dream.
The government established the DRS, Distress Response Squad, and delivered over 100 customized vehicles to the police and other security agencies to fight crime.
Given that this government places so much premium on the issue of security of Enugu, last year December we held a security and development summit by December 12, a well-attended security summit that centered on the relationship between security and development at the rural areas. You know, we've also been involved in the pursuit of intervention from the Ecological Fund. It is a work in progress. We've been pushing to see how Enugu State can benefit from the fund up there in Abuja. We've been holding series of meetings, reaching out and all that. By and large, it has been a good year.
In the 2024 budget christened Budget of Economic Disruption, an unprecedented 33% of the budget was devoted to education. The government is building 260 smart schools in Enugu State. The current chalk and board system of teaching children was no longer in sync with modern model of education. Smart schools is it. Every child anywhere in the state must not only have access to the modern method of learning, but be taking lessons from the best. The intervention in the education sector is unprecedented in magnitude and spread to get the rural child and urban ones onto the modern model of education. 260 smart schools and 260 primary health care in the 260 political wards of the state. In this journey of greatness, no child is left behind. 10,000 kilometer of roads was the target set by the governor. The promise was ambitious and tall. Already, 71 city and urban roads and 10 rural ones were awarded at a go, turning the city to literally one giant project site.
I can tell you about the roads we constructed, asphalted, complete overlay, total rehabilitation, drainage works, and all those. Those you can calculate going about 300 kilometers plus. But the zero potholes, the patching, the resurfacing in certain undulated areas, those areas are very difficult for you to calculate, but I can tell you, if you put those roads, they are quite substantial. As if you see, the way we chose where we started from in the first 81 roads that were flagged off, each area, Ababa, Emene, Transikuru, Eva Valley, Edo River, Independence Layer, New Layer, Okunano, Gariki. You need to start with the entrance into that area, the one that opens it up, and then the other adjoining roads, so that the flow of traffic will be similar.
Action speaks louder than words. Don't be deceived by all those fancy talkers. Action speaks
In the scorecard of the last 365 days, some of these roads awarded are either completed or are at about 90% stage of completion. In his effort to reposition the health sector and bring primary healthcare services closer to the people, His Excellency Governor Peter Ndubuisimba approved the construction of 260 primary healthcare centers across the 260 wards in the state. At the Park Lane Hospital, the no-bed syndrome at the Accident and Emergency Unit is now a thing of the past. Governor Mba have completed and equipped the 3 remaining floors of the emergency unit. He also went ahead to construct triage to enhance the activities of the Accident and Emergency Unit. The governor also employed more than 100 doctors and nurses to ensure adequate services.
But the 3 floors of the Accident and Emergency are now being fully utilized. The previous syndrome was as a result of people overstaying in Accident and Emergency. In Accident and Emergency, you do not stay more than 48 hours. So that was being implemented. Then, of course, we again presented to the governor that there is a need to enhance our Accident and Emergency by introducing what is called triage in medical parlance, where immediately anybody is coming, you determine whether the person will first be admitted in an A&E or taken to the ward or treated there and then, and sent. His Excellency graciously approved the employment of over 100 doctors and over 100 nurses to replace those that have left, and other support medical professionals that also have exited our facility. Ophthalmology has been accredited by December last year, all with the help of His Excellency, who procured within a week of request all the equipment needed for that accreditation. The School of Nursing have been upgraded to College of Nursing. Thank God for His Excellency.
There is more to come as the years roll by. The healthcare sector has enjoyed collaborations with partners, and through partners we now have a fully renovated and farmer upgraded central medical store by a partnership with the Enugu state government and the Global Fund and the UNICEF. This is just to mention a few things, but there are so many. Accreditation of schools that will produce healthcare personnel has also been made possible within 1 year in office. So much is happening. Hostels are being built to ensure that what is needed for accreditation is gotten. We now have and about to complete the process of having a full College of Nursing Sciences in Enugu with several campuses. Our schools of health technology have enjoyed interventions that have made the accreditation possible, so that soon Enugu will be a net producer of healthcare personnel.
The Ministry of Culture and Tourism, through the support of His Excellency, brought back the Enugu Roadblock Show. It is to be noted that Road Show had barely been forgotten in the state, but is now back. In making sure Enugu becomes one of the tourist spots in Nigeria, the governor, in his magnanimity, went on to reconstruct and beautify the Unity Park for tourists to have a pleasurable moment.
Hotel Presidential is very dear to every Enugu citizen. It is an iconic structure. It is the pride of Ndi Enugu, and we are happy that Hotel Presidential is coming back to life. We have taken possession. Work is ongoing as we speak, and we know that before the end of the year, Hotel Presidential will be back. We did not stop there. We are also currently building a 5-star hotel, about 380 rooms, the same premises of the International Conference Center, where we have a dome. We'll have about 2 multipurpose halls that will cater for about 3,000 sitting capacities.
Many projects initiated by this government are very finance demanding. To achieve his vision of expanding the revenue base, the governor went on a massive revenue drive by increasing the tax base and as well creating a centralized system of tax payment called the e-ticketing to avoid revenue leakage and multiplication.
When we came in, we realized that Enugu State is heavily dependent on federal allocation for their projects. So we decided to diversify the revenue sources of the economy. One, and the major aspect of it, is that of diversification of the internally generated revenue, which when we come was close to nothing. Enugu State wasn't generating enough revenue internally. So we did not embark on increasing the tax rates, but what we did was to expand the tax base. There are some businesses that were not paying tax before. These are the people we try to capture. If you allow somebody to control money cash-wise, then you are tempting the person. That is why we introduced what we call the e-ticketing. Before this administration, across all the markets in Enugu State, the market union leaders were collecting so many fees. So what we did was to collect all these things and ensure that it is paid only once.
Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. The purchase of waste disposal trucks and standard waste bins underscores the readiness of the government to make Enugu one of the cleanest cities in the country. The effort is to convert waste to wealth.
Before we came on board, there were a lot of illegal miners everywhere in Enugu State. Most people do not know about these mining activities going on. Only very few people knew. But when we came on board, we went into it and saw that all parts of these states, we have coal, and people are mining them illegally. And we swooped on them and made sure that they come to the round table to discuss with the state government. We had an MOU with some of them that have the capacity to mine. The vehicles that were procured by the state government in collaboration with some individuals have massively doing a lot of jobs. They have helped in the evacuation of these weights. You go along the streets, of course, you see that early in the morning they are there, in the evenings they are there. Even on Sundays you see these vehicles. Because if those vehicles were not there, Enugu would have been a very dirty environment. And Enugu used to be, many years ago, it used to be one of the cleanest states, and that's what we want to maintain.
365 days, something great to celebrate. 260 wards, that means one ward, one small school. 260 primary healthcare centers, one ward, one PHC. 80 rural and urban roads, some completed, some about to be completed. Biotech cassava farm, converting agriculture to business instead of ordinary subsistence farming. Several MOUs, local and international, meaning that investors are coming into Enugu State. Rehabilitation, revamping, and reordering of moribund industries, ailing industries, and even new ones coming up. Sports affair, rehabilitation of the cathedral. Rangers are playing back home now, and they are making impact in the nation. Recruitment of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare in Esut Park Lane, which is something commendable. And the no bed syndrome is over the bar. There's a revolution going on in transportation. Of course, there are so many things we can't mention here, but I want to tell you that this government is qualified to satisfy Enugu people.